Scaling your business is not about doing more, it's about consistently doing what matters. Yet this is very hard for most founders. I know you've been in this situation, you know what to do, you have the resources to do it, but you end up not cleanly executing. Why? Because there's a mysterious force that is preventing you from doing so. That force is called psychic entropy, which is the misalignment between your attention, your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior, which in essence creating erratic thought patterns, mismanaged emotions, and unwanted behavior. And this is why you sit down to work every day, but you end up surfing YouTube for hours at a time. When you plan to make key decisions, but you end up postponing them. When you promise yourself that you're gonna do the hard things, but you end up defaulting to the easy or urgent things. Solving psychic entropy is the true divide between 6 and 7 figures entrepreneur. Success is never about working more. It's about consistently executing at a high level. Those that break through and really reach 7 and 8 figures all have one thing in common. They don't hesitate, they don't waste time, they don't get distracted because they have trained their mind to consistently execute with precision, just like elite athletes. This video is about a technique that you can use today to train your mind to become relentlessly focused on what matters. It will help you eliminate psychic entropy and rewire it for execution. This technique is visualization. Visualization is not about visualizing success. No. It's much deeper than that. It's an advanced performance skills that helps you rehearse a routine or a performance in your mind to stimulate the same brain region that you'd engage if you physically perform that activity. It's not about seeing yourself doing something. It's a multi-sensory rehearsal that creates something called deep embodiment, which is one of the most validated flow triggers. In the original flow trigger research by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, deep embodiment is one of the most important flow triggers. The deeper you embody the visualization, the better you become at the process at imagining yourself dealing with the task you're going to do, but also the end result of it and every single tiny thing that might go wrong in the process, the better you become at priming your brain to activate the same neural regions. So your brain has already been doing the task before you have ever started. And this is crucial because the brain cannot tell the difference between a real thing and a very vivid visualization. They both create the same neural pathways in the brain. So the more you do this and the better you become at this, the more you change your brain to help you execute. And the less you self-sabotage because your mind starts seeing the task, even if you've never done it before, as non-threatening. So you just ease yourself into it. And this is important because psychic entropy is when your conscious and your subconscious mind are misaligned. There's friction between what you logically want to do and what you emotionally feel you're capable of doing. You want to sit down and do important work, but you're afraid of failing at it, so you end up surfing YouTube. You want to have a hard conversation that is going to take your business to a different level, but you fear the emotional reaction, so you self-sabotage. And you have a mind that is all over the place instead of being focused on actually delivering the thing that matters most. That is psychic entropy. And through visualization, we can align both sides of the mind. And this is something that has been known since the dawn of time, and there's countless examples of how visualization helps in performance. Probably one of the most famous is the 4-minute mile by Roger Bannister, something that was considered absolutely impossible outside of human possibility. But he trained himself to visualize running the mile in less than 4 minutes. And he eventually achieved it. What's incredible is that only 3 months after his feat, 7 people had already done it because they have broken the mental barrier they previously had. That's visualization. A good business example could be Elon Musk visualizing the solution to the reusable rocket problem. He saw in his mind how solving this problem, which has never been solved before, would change the aerospace industry because it would reduce the cost of sending a rocket into space. He visualized it, he gathered a team, he achieved it, and now it has become commonplace in the industry. That's also visualization. Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian in history, would rehearse every race twice, once in the morning, once at night, to be ready for any possible disruption once the time came. And what's fun is he once won a race swimming blind because his goggle had shifted out of position. He couldn't see the swimming pool, but he still won because he had rehearsed that same race a zillion times in his mind before. In the words of his coach, Bill Bowman, we figured imagery was best to concentrate on these tiny moments of success and build them into mental triggers. It's more like habits had taken over. The race was just another step in a pattern that started earlier that day and was nothing but victories. Winning became a natural extension. And the Soviet Union, for instance, was very famous for using sophisticated mental training in every Olympic discipline. In some disciplines, the ratio was 3-to-1, 3 times mental rehearsal versus 1 time physical rehearsal. So the more you wake up to this technique and the more you use it in your day-to-day, the more useful it will be, because it will help you become exponentially better at every single thing that you do. Think about it for a minute. What if instead of scrolling YouTube in between tasks you're afraid of actually doing, you devoted 1 minute to successfully visualize yourself completing the task? How much more ahead would you be? Now, when to use visualization in business. So Nikola Tesla, the Serbian-American inventor, has this quote in which he said he'd never rushed into actual work. When he got an idea, he built the whole model in his head, and then he eventually went and built it, and he came out flawless. Well, I train my clients in exactly the same principle, to visualize exactly what needs to be done and then go do it so that they don't waste unnecessary time dealing with inefficient execution. Because the goal, remember, is to have minimal amount of psychic entropy, to be absolutely locked in on what needs to be done, to gravitate towards doing the right things and not needing website blockers or random apps or random stuff to nudge yourself to get things done. It's about visualizing the task being done and visualizing and rehearsing critical business moments that may not go the way you want them to go, to train yourself on how to deal with them. Like, for instance, imagine you have a sales call. You visualize the success of the sales call, but also every objection that the client can throw at you and how you'll deal with it. Imagine you need to have a difficult conversation with a team member. You rehearse it in your mind and try to anticipate what that person will tell you. Over time, this helps you deal with high pressure situation and gives you a higher sense of control. It also helps you move faster. You make faster decisions because you have visualized scenarios in advance. It also helps you build your confidence because every mental rehearsal creates a success map in the brain. So you've already been doing the things you're about to start doing, if that makes sense. So you do not self-sabotage. And it eventually also train your own personal algorithm, which is how I call intuition. See, intuition is an excerpt pattern recognition machine you have in your mind that is shifting through zillions of data to handle you the best solution. But if you do not train it, it's not going to help you. If you consistently tap into intuition when visualizing, you build a very strong mechanism to spot critical problems. In essence, the goal is to be where you want to go before you even need to go there. And now you're ready for how to implement this in your life. Step number 1 is always to create the right conditions. See, if you try to do this when you are somewhere noisy, there's a lot of inputs coming to you, there's a lot of distractions, it's not gonna work. You need to first find a quiet space without notification. Find the present moment and use your breath to calm the mind. This is very important. If your mind is racing, you will not be able to direct the visualization. Your mind is going to be all over the place. You wanna be calm and give yourself the chance to visualize what you want to do. Then to pick a high stakes scenario, something that is important for you to get right. It can be a sales call that you're about to do. It can be a 2-hour outreach session that you hate on doing. It could be a podcast appearance that you're about to jump on. It can be a client negotiation. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you have something that you can visualize yourself performing at the highest level. And then you're ready for step 3, which is visualize it with the utmost detail. Go very deep into how exactly are you going to be performing. What do you look like? What exactly are you doing? What emotions are you feeling? Who is part of the scene? Is there any smells? Is there anything that helps you build a more vivid visualization? Remember that the more vivid you visualize, the faster you encode that into your brain. It's not about imagining success. It's literally by creating an unmistakable picture in your brain. The more you charge it with emotion, the more effective it ends up becoming. And then finally, execute. Do the thing exactly as you imagine it. And if reality does not unfold the way you thought it would, it doesn't matter, because you are going to be ready no matter what. You're going to do the thing exactly as you already pre-visualize you would. And do this for every hard or difficult task, every single thing that you don't know how to handle. It will nudge you into the correct behavior. It will remove psychic entropy and make you an exponentially more effective, higher performing human being. This is the kind of things that nobody talks about, but the most elite athletes and founders and CEOs all do. I know because I train it, and I've talked and mentored and worked with hundreds of them. So start implementing visualization every day and see how your psychic entropy goes out of the window. I've used this to change career 3 times, move to the United States, invest in 37 companies, coach 300 founders, and do all sorts of cool shit. Not because I'm more talented or more intelligent, but because I am training my mind to do the things I yet don't know how to do without getting distracted, overwhelmed, or burning out. If you want to understand why your mind is not your friend, if you want to scale your business successfully, check this video. I go very deep in why that is the case, and more importantly, what to do about it.